US President Donald Trump has carried out a major move right inside Russia's backyard. From Trump's statements, it often seems that he doesn't have much knowledge of geopolitics. He has always had clashes with the CIA, but now Trump has opened a spot for the CIA right under Russia's backyard and on Iran's border. This area is called the South Caucasus region, which connects Asia and Europe. Here, Trump has made such a move that it has not only alarmed Russia, but also rung warning bells inside Iran. In today's video, we will explain what the South Caucasus region is and what game Trump has played here that has made Iran extremely angry and led it to issue threats to the United States. This was actually a major development that went mostly unnoticed in recent days, with very little coverage by global media. But you may have seen the footage showing the presidents of Azerbaijan and Armenia together at the White House, where Trump brought them to reconcile and both leaders thanked him. These are the same Azerbaijan and Armenia that fought a brutal war just 5 years ago over the Nagorno-Karabakh region, during which Azerbaijan was reportedly supported by Turkey and Pakistan, with Turkey providing direct military aid. Historically, whenever Azerbaijan and Armenia fought, Putin would step in as a mediator, and Russia considered the Caucasus region as its own backyard. Because of this, American presence there has traditionally been minimal as Russia has been dominant. And as you know, Armenia and Azerbaijan were once part of Soviet Russia. Now, one by one, the US is pulling those former Soviet states towards its side. However, Trump's peace deal has raised concerns in both Russia and Iran that CIA and NATO influence could expand into a region long under Russian sway. Recently, relations between Russia and Azerbaijan have also deteriorated. The Azerbaijani government arrested several Russian businessmen in Baku, angering Moscow. During the Russia-Ukraine war, when Western sanctions froze Russian assets in Western banks, many of these assets were moved to Baku. Now, this latest US move has rattled Putin, as Washington has exploited Russia's vulnerabilities. In the past war over Nagorno-Karabakh, Azerbaijan largely emerged victorious. In recent months, Armenia even returned several villages to Azerbaijan, boosting Baku's confidence. Both countries praised Trump's peace efforts and even suggested he deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. The real game here is that Trump has initiated a strategic transit corridor between the two countries, dubbed the Trump Corridor, to be developed by the US. According to Washington, this corridor will boost exports for both nations globally, with the US acting as a facilitator. Trump announced separate trade deals with both countries, aimed at increasing trade, energy cooperation, and technology exchanges. He also declared the removal of US defense restrictions on Azerbaijan and the start of defense agreements, something that rings alarm bells in Moscow. This strategic transit corridor will connect Azerbaijan to its autonomous exclave of Nakhchivan, which lies inside Armenia but is Azerbaijani territory. Importantly, this is not Nagorno-Karabakh, but another region that is geographically disconnected from Azerbaijan's mainland. Until now, Armenia controlled land access to it and often created obstacles, insisting it must remain under Armenian control. Trump stepped in, stating the US would oversee the corridor, which both nations would operate jointly. Although most of it lies within Armenia's territory, Azerbaijan will have extensive rights over it. Washington's real interest here is in Azerbaijani oil. As discussed in previous reports, Azerbaijan's oil also reaches Israel via this route traveling from Azerbaijan through Turkey to Israel. This deal ensures that oil transport will proceed without disruptions, with the US providing guarantees, branding it the Trump route for international peace and prosperity. Azerbaijan also demanded a railway corridor under its control to trade freely and have secure access to its exclave. In the past, during conflicts, Azerbaijan threatened to seize such a corridor by force if Armenia refused. The project had been stalled for years due to disputes and wars. Even a militarily stronger Azerbaijan could face trouble if its enemy disrupted a single road. Iran and Russia have both been hit by this move. Iran reacted aggressively, as the corridor will pass very close to its border, raising fears of increased CIA and NATO activity nearby that could be used for sabotage operations inside Iran. Having suffered heavy losses recently at the hands of Israel, Iran cannot afford further threats. Azerbaijan also maintains strong ties with Israel and supplies it with oil. They supply it via Turkey. When Iranian President Raisi's helicopter crashed, killing him, he was returning from Azerbaijan at the time. According to many analysts, this was an Israeli operation, targeting him near the Azerbaijani border and eliminating both the president and the foreign minister. Iran did not make much noise over the incident then, because doing so would have undermined Iran's sovereignty and projected weakness. Instead, they officially called it an internal accident, blaming an old helicopter and bad weather. The weather, no doubt, was indeed poor that day, but there were many questions about the incident. The fact that his aircraft was destroyed right after leaving Azerbaijan raised suspicions, especially since Mossad is known to have a presence inside Azerbaijan. Relations between Azerbaijan and Iran have also had friction. Iran's northern region, near the Caspian Sea and bordering Azerbaijan, contains an ethnic Azeri population, which occasionally causes problems for Tehran. The crash happened close to that very area. Iran not only condemned the new corridor project, but also issued threats, warning, "If you turn this area into a base for your mercenaries, we will turn it into their graveyard." According to Tehran, NATO's presence here could act as a viper between NATO, Russia, and Iran. They declared they would not tolerate any negative foreign intervention. This corridor is especially sensitive because Russia and Iran had developed a new trade route, one free from global sanctions, where historically NATO and CIA presence was extremely weak. Russia never allowed them entry, instead maintaining good ties with all Central Asian states to keep them out. Russia considers this its backyard, and the CIA's long-term strategy against both the Soviet Union and modern Russia has been to encircle it and expand presence in its immediate neighborhood. The way the West encouraged Ukraine to join NATO is an example. Russia called it a red line, and when it was crossed, Moscow attacked. Similarly, in the southern regions, Central Asian states and the Caucasus, Russia will not tolerate such foreign presence. Moscow has also criticized America's military presence in Afghanistan and Iraq, saying it gave rise to groups like ISIS, which then spill over into their territory. And now, for the first time in history, the US through Donald Trump has directly entered this sensitive zone. These are places Iran and Russia considered sanction-proof, CIA-proof, and NATO-proof, yet now Washington has found its way in. This area is also traversed by the North-South Transport Corridor, a joint project of India, Iran, Azerbaijan, and Russia. Putin even offered Pakistan to join it, especially given India's lukewarm interest. This corridor starts from the Arabian Sea, enters Iran, then passes through the Caspian Sea via Azerbaijan, and finally reaches Russia. Into this same region, the US has now introduced a new corridor through Trump. Experts say this is a CIA plan to establish another strategic foothold to monitor both Russia and Iran. This explains why Iran has reacted so aggressively. Russia, meanwhile, has officially welcomed the peace deal, but with strong caution, warning against any negative external games being played under the guise of peace. Moscow's official stance is that while it also wants Armenia and Azerbaijan to improve relations, no hostile foreign intelligence agencies should gain entry into the region under the cover of such deals. Russia has always maintained that regional problems should be solved by regional countries themselves, without outside powers, the same stance it holds on Afghanistan. Regarding the Central Asian countries, it's quite simple. Russia says that this is a threat to its sovereignty. They insist that if there's any presence of Western agencies here, we will fix our own region ourselves. That's why they have been holding very aggressive negotiations with the Taliban and have even recognized their credentials, recognizing their government. This is China and Russia's philosophy. They say regional problems should be solved by regional countries sitting together, not by some superpower coming from 7,000 miles away. And they know that such superpowers only create problems, their policies destabilize the entire region and give birth to terrorist groups. From this perspective, Russia's strong stance is that all these issues should be resolved by the regional countries themselves. And according to Russia, if the US wants to mediate a peace deal here, its agenda should be only peace, not creating new divisions. Talking about Turkey, Turkey has welcomed this corridor warmly. After all, Turkey is a NATO ally in one way, a friend of USA, because this route passes through Turkey to reach Israel, and Turkey benefits from it. Turkey's foreign minister described this corridor as a powerful route that will link Europe to the depths of Asia via Turkey, a very beneficial development for half the world. Trump's latest peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan is raising alarms in Russia and Iran, as it could expand CIA and NATO influence into the South Caucasus, a region long under Russian sway. Tensions between Moscow and Baku have already grown, with arrests of Russian businessmen and the US quickly moving in to exploit the rift. Turkey, an old US ally, is also benefiting, as the oil route from Azerbaijan passes through it to Israel. The corridor gives the West a new way to monitor Russia, historically strong in this region. For the US, Europe, Israel, and Turkey, it's a strategic win. On the other hand, for Russia, Iran, and China, a challenge. Both Moscow and Tehran see this as a red line, as they use this route for trade and joint military drills. That's all for today's update. Please subscribe and like this video.